we're back. Game number 2 of our final best of 3 of the night, and a hell of a best of 3 it's shaping up to be at least. But tell you the truth, the DK continues with their dominance. TongFu's just going to get blown out the barn door if they're not very, very careful. Game 1, a very dominant affair as DK just took control and never really looked back. TongFu, though, had put up fits from time to time, just really unable to slow burning down once he got a good start on Weaver. His items came out very quickly, and the rest was just kind of came down to little mistakes that TongFu was making here and there. And right now, DK just looking good and looking to be still informed despite having taken a loss to Invictus Gaming earlier on this evening. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers, joined by Ben Merlini Wu. We can see the draft already in progress. Luna, who we already saw used to great effect earlier this evening, as well as Bat Rider and Earthshaker. The second time in a row Bat has made it into the draft and was actually passed upon by DK, who first picked the Timbersaw, opening Luna and Bat Rider up to be picked by TongFu. So already, just a couple of series in, we're beginning to see some small shifts. That's the kind of thing that was unthinkable before 6.79.
10 seconds remaining.
And pretty sure Ben's muted again. Come on, Ben.
Remaining.
Unmute.
Here.
There's the man. Welcome in, my friend.
Yeah, Bat Rider just, I mean, he's still strong. I think I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be like a situational pick now. I still think he'll be like picked and banned fairly often, but he may just drop from being seen 100% of the time to maybe like 70%. I don't know. It's still very, very early in the patch. This is our first day experimenting with 6.79 and Dota 2, and a lot of things only time will tell. And Luna looks like Alchemist has kind of fallen off. We haven't seen Alchemist picked. I don't even think we've seen him banned at all. I still think he's a strong hero, though. I don't think that people should completely discount him as their carry of choice. Luna, though, rising in the ranks, though.
Yeah, Luna sure is looking good. And, coming back to that Alchemist, what you were talking about with the Alchemist, I mean, he's a hero who he underwent some changes, and I guess the major criticism is that he's going to be much more early and mid-game centric and fall off in terms of his late-game potential without his ultimate to rely upon. But really, when you look at the way the health balances itself out, he's still going to have tons of utility. I mean, he's not going to be as innately, instantly tanky when you hit R, but he certainly has a lot of other things going for him. And I'm like you. I'm a little surprised that he has seen just so little attention yet. I doubt that's going to remain the case. I'm sure some teams, even if it is just in the West, are going to continue to play with him, and we'll have a much better idea of what the hero is capable of in coming days and coming weeks. I'll tell you who has not fallen off at all in popularity is Weaver. Weaver, I'm pretty sure, has been picked and banned in 100% of the matches today, if not yesterday as well.
Mm-hmm. He's still a strong hero. He only got a very, very slight nerf. Mm-hmm. Actually, I mean, like, Gem being costing more is a slight buff to him, too. And Naga Siren is actually, like, look at her, too. She's actually fallen off to the second phase.
Yeah.
Like, second phase ban, which is ridiculous. I'm surprised that DK didn't pick him up. It's, like, really, or her up, rather. It's really useful against Bat Rider Initiate, and it's pretty good for Luna, too. Like, if she BKBs and Eclipses, you can just sleep and focus her down, or just sleep and run away and make her waste her big cooldown. So, still a pretty useful hero. I guess Naga's just going to actually become a situational pick, too, instead of, well, she fits in every lineup.
Well, Song Sheng, even in Game 1 again, very much a dominant performance out of DK. Looks like Song Sheng's going to be running on the Earthshaker again this time around, and they will be running the Bat once again as well. But, Earthshaker is a hero I've been really curious to see exactly how he was going to work out, having the buffs to his early skill set, a little bit of extra damage on Enchant Totem, and having the extra range on Fissure. Certainly gives him a little bit more utility. All the cute things you can do so far as creep pulling and blocking. And for those who are wondering, we don't prohibit that here in the D2L. We consider it a mechanic of the game, and the game is to be played as the game stands.
You're allowing cheaters, ASC.
That's what we do, man. It's the D2L. I mean, it's Pizza GG all over again, just a complete disaster. But anyway, Lion picked up in 4th position here by TongFu. And Lion, a hero that, I mean, depending on the team, you will see him make it into play from time to time. He's got two great lockdowns and Earth Spike as well as Hex, and his ult, of course, just one big FU that you can throw in somebody's face. But and that certainly helps against Weaver. I mean, having those 2 lockdowns you can chain together on top of one gigantic nuke that you can get off if you have extra damage coming in from another source, just to guarantee you burst the Weaver down before time lapse. That's a nice way to begin coping with him, especially in conjunction with a Bat Rider who can just focus his lasso, make sure it's always the Weaver who does get lasso.
I like Lion a lot as a hero. I'm surprised he's not picked up a little. Well, actually, no, I'm not surprised. He still needs levels a lot, but I mean, with this new patch, we see supports like level even faster than before, contrary to what I initially thought. I mean, I guess there's more action, so more kills equals more experience, but at the same time, it's just a little bit unusual. And I guess the gold also helps them buy more items so they can survive. Having boots like pre 10 minutes is, I guess, going to be the norm now. Yeah, Lion, one of those heroes that he can be in a solo mid too, or solo safe lane. I've seen him like do decently in both, not like amazingly. He doesn't like destroy his lane. Yeah. Sometimes he does though, but that level 6 is just incredible amounts of damage. 600 damage combined with the already high amounts of lockdown, and you can follow it up with a couple of right clicks too. Like almost any hero is just going to die to that. That's not a strength hero.
Reserve time.
And seeing the Windrunner picked up again, DK running. We've seen some great Windrunner plays. The SMJ in particular really put on a show with that hero yesterday. But she, of course, had a little bit of a change, and don't think it's going to really change the way the hero plays. Just the fact that her focus fire is now sticky, which means she actually can switch targets, then go back to the original target on which she used the ultimate and still have that bonus for the set duration of time. So makes her gives her a little bit more utility in terms of how she'll function in team fights if you want to go with a semi-carry Windrunner build. But again, just kind of throwing that out there. Don't necessarily think that's going to be the case when you have two good damage dealers in the Timbersaw and the Weaver so far. What imagine, I mean, taking a look at the way this is going to work, they have a lot of options. Is that going to be a mid Timbersaw? Could it be a mid Clockwork? Even a mid Weaver? They can do kind of whatever they want. Burning those seems to like to tri-lane that Weaver. But then you've got a Windrunner. Is that going to be a lane support Windrunner? So on and so forth. So as of right now, DK rather ambiguous in how they want to run this, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, options are key, and flexibility. It's really, really important to have a flexible lineup. And I mean, we've seen teams just lose just because they don't have enough late game, or they rely too much on early ganking, and the other team just plays passive and dodges ganks, and they just straight up lose a game. So, like, if they want to go very, very aggressive, they can put Bat Rider or Lion mid on the side of TongFu. If they want to go really farmy, they can put Luna. But I mean, even Luna's like decent in the gank strategy too. I've even seen Earthshaker mid occasionally, so that's not completely off the table.
I remember back when I first started casting, back in the days of Monthly Madness, the very first tournament I worked with our good friend Dimitri to organize. Oh, hello. Bloodseeker going to be picked up. Now that's a hero that we've all been waiting and hoping to see. A hero that has had quite a number of changes, made namely the fact that he just plays race car build all the time. If you get low health, he will find you. He will kill you. He will do his best taken impression because he has no movement speed cap. Kind of nuts, and I'm looking forward to this and so much more now.
Yeah, this is going to be really cool. Can TongFu actually utilize it well? I mean, the thing about it is you have to have an aggressive lineup. You have to find a lot of kills early. You have to get heroes low so that you can actually use Thirst. And he has to stay alive in the fight. But hopefully that won't be too big a deal with his super duper fast movement speed.
I like that Disruptor pick to round things out for DK. Gives them a lot of options. It allows them to play defensive or aggressive. I mean, they have the reach of a Clockwork and a Timbersaw to get in and out of fights. They have the innate survivability of a Weaver and a Windrunner, two of the hardest heroes to track down, who have nice ways to get out of trouble. Then you've got a Disruptor. Say you got a Bloodseeker sniffing up your tailpipe as you try to run back home with a quarter health. Now Disruptor's now an answer for that. It doesn't care how fast you move. It just means you're going to be thrown that much further back by the time all is said and done. So game number 2 going to be one for the books. Bloodseeker. First, to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time Bloodseeker's been played in a competitive game since the patch launched today. And really looking forward to see what TongFu is going to be able to do with it. And they're going to have it on Moo, actually. So with Moo handling it, this is especially going to be fun, seeing what he can do setting up shop in mid.
Yep, I like the solo mid Bloodseeker. It actually pairs up decently well
swapped
against... Oh, they did?
Yep.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, man. Well, looks like, yeah, Ice is headed mid on the Timbersaw, and that looks like it will be matched up versus Bat Rider. So, yeah, I guess just a little bit of safe choice there. Bloodseeker kind of gets wrecked in some matchups, although he does pretty well versus a lot of the Intel ones.
Well, as the lanes take shape, let's see who's handling who again. Welcome in to Game 2. Could be the final game of the night and of the week here at the D2L Eastern Divisional Play. And want to thank everyone, no matter what corner of the world you happen to call home. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. Hopefully this game is as fun as it seems to be based on the draft so far. On the side of DK, we're going to have Mushi handling our Windrunner, setting up shop with Lanham on the clockwork and MMY on the Disruptor. Looks like they might be running an aggressive tri-lane, and we talked a bit about this before. Saw this last night, and I kind of called it out from the draft, something that I've seen done that used to be a little bit more popular but is coming back in vogue and might come back in vogue even more following the patch, and we'll hold that thought for a moment as DK chases away two scurrying players from TongFu. The Rune will be bottom. That'll be Burning, grabbing that. That'll be a DD. But the 3 support tri-lane, having Clockwork, Mushi on the Windrunner, and now actually MMY is going to rotate out, so looks to be a 2-1-2 perhaps.
Yeah, I think this may be the new norm, or 2-2-1 rather, with dual hero in the mid. It looks like MMY is actually going to go bottom. I think with Lich, though, we're going to see him start going mid more and more. Disruptor already skilled, level 1 Glimpse, a little bit surprising. Thunderstrike got buffed recently so that it does a lot of damage at level 1. We see 40 times 4, so 160 damage. That's quite a lot for a level 1 nuke.
Mm-hmm. Finishing the lineups, Weaver, played by Burning, as we already saw, and the Disruptor handled by MMY. XTT shows his face, and Burning immediately gives him a little scalding on his cheeks using the Shikuchi damage. On the other side of the river, we're going to have Mu taking the Bad Rider mid up, hang on the top, getting a little tangled up there. Doesn't look like we're going to have any action breakout yet, but this many disables, this many stuns and mini stuns, though, really got to watch. The cogs are going to be a nice safety belt for Lanham and Mushi, but still, especially once Lion hits level 2, gets a point into Hex, very much could be a very deadly lane. So speaking of, it will be ZSMJ, who again was just a true all-star, had a true standout performance in his games yesterday. San Sheng back on the Earthshaker for the second game in a row. Zoe farming up the Lunas, no surprise to anyone. And down at bottom, XTT handling our surprise pick, the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, Bloodseeker, yeah. I still don't know how I feel about this hero. He doesn't actually get he hasn't skilled Thirst, firstly. He doesn't get the armor anymore from Thirst. He does have like decent base armor though. Looks like, I guess he thought he was going to be just solo offlane versus Weaver. Bloodseeker is actually really good versus Weaver. The Blood Rage like just absolutely destroys Weaver. And you might think, oh, he's a carry, he's going to do well with a lot of damage. But if he can't Shikuchi and he can't time lapse, that hero, that is just a dead bug.
Totally agree. And in fact, here's a fun fact for you, Merlini. Bloodseeker has appeared in the D2L, dating back to D2L Season 2. Nice fissure. Hold that thought. We're going to have Mushi engaged upon. Lanham trapped in as well. Oh, San Sheng. Such a good fissure. Can they capitalize? First blood goes to Zoe. Lanham dropped the cogs, but just not enough. That could not have been done better. San Sheng just cut them off, literally nipped their heels with it. It was so close. Got the stun, got the damage, got the first blood. Advantage TongFu.
Yeah. Really nice fissure coming out from San Sheng. And I mean, he plays like Visage and Earthshaker. That's like the 2 heroes I see him play all the time now.
Basically, yeah. And what I was going to say, just a fun fact about Bloodseeker in the D2L. Bloodseeker has appeared in the D2L multiple times, not just once, not just some random pick. Has appeared in the D2L multiple times dating back to Season 2. You know what his win rate is?
100%?
100%. He has won twice, and once it was a troll pick, just to be honest. The other time, though, it was picked to directly counter the Weaver, and a Bloodseeker just kind of, hang on, San Sheng eating some shrapnel in the face. Now Lanham has to run another good fissure. Can they follow it up? Power shots there. Cogs knock him back.
He's blocked.
And yes, he is blocked, and they're going to follow it up with an Earth Spike. Here comes Mu, ready to finish it off. Couple of auto attacks, and TongFu makes it 2-0, losing the clockwork. So DK not having quite the start they wanted here in game number 2.
Yeah, San Sheng with the second block for the second kill, and Earthshaker's actually pretty difficult hero to play. I think similar to Clockwork, like you can hit bad cogs, you can hit good cogs, you can hit bad fissures, you can hit good fissures. And San Sheng has been just very spot on with those right now. He's still a little bit under level, but Zoe is finding the farm, 16-4 on him, but Weaver's also finding even more farm on bottom. And Burning, we haven't talked much about Burning because, to be honest, we haven't seen him do that much. And he is just struggling a little bit in the past couple of days. People have just been focusing him so hard all the time, and the draft hasn't really allowed him to shine like the Burning that we all know.
Yeah, playing a lot of Weaver lately, and this is the third time we've seen him on Weaver in 4 games. So has certainly been kind of pigeonholed a little bit. Weaver is a very strong hero, and so long as he gets his start, we saw in last game just how effective he can be. But back to, just to finish the thought about the Bloodseeker. When he was picked, once was a troll build and once was definitely a complete counter pick to Weaver, and he just kind of shuts Weaver down in every way. I mean, Rupture forces a time lapse most of the time, or you can just, as you said, hit him with the Thirst, and now he's silenced, and now he can't Shikushi, can't time lapse, can't do anything. And if you do it the right way, Mushi at top. There's a nice fissure. Mushi cleaned up. Lanham popping the battery assault. The SMJ doesn't have the mana. He will be cogged in and might end up dead because of it. Sansheng in the same boat, just not enough mana. Zoe doesn't have enough for Lucent Beam. If he did, that would be another kill instead. They end up trading 1 for 1.
Yeah, Lana making something out of nothing there. Mushi just keeps getting caught, and that very long duration level 1 Hex online is really showing right now. I think it used to be like 1.75 or something like that. Now it's 2.5 seconds at level 1, so now it's definitely good use out of the mana.
XTT did rotate to mid and swap out with Moo. Moo will be denying this bottom tower, preventing a little bit of gold gain from DK, so going to be pretty okay with that. The Bat still, even after the nerfs, very effective at dipping into the jungle to catch himself up in gold again. The practice videos I've seen people put out so far indicate that 9-minute Blink Dagger is still very, very possible on a Bat Rider, so it's in range of how strong he used to be in that situation pre-patch. And right now, though, yeah, just going to go ahead and duck in. There you go, Moo.
Team Soul picks up a rune. We have not talked about mid that much, and it looks like just like a lot of heroes rotating here and there. Moo trying to get a lasso.
Not going to find it. Little too quick reaction. Sansheng will help him pre-rune again. And there's Lanham. Lanham's going to run very close to, came very close to running right into Moo, but starting to see a lot more movement as the laning phase is breaking down. The only person not moving, and this kind of what we did last game, Burning, just kind of doing his thing, finding his gold, and soon to be filling his inventory.
He needs some gold, though. He needs that farm. What item do you go for in this particular situation? If you go BKB, you'll still get HP removed from the Rupture. If you get Lincolns, he has silence for you as well as Rupture. So again, we see this problem where like the other game, I think Sylar was the Weaver and he got BKB, but it didn't do anything. And
tell you what we just saw right there was just how big kinetic field is after the Disruptor's buff. Ice counter initiated upon. They were unable to clean up XTT. That should have been a fairly sure thing gank. They just didn't have the damage. And nice rotation over from Moo to go ahead and turn that around. Windrunner ended up dying as well, so TongFu is actually taking quite a commanding lead so far, 5-1. Burning is going to split push a little bit, but Lion right there to meet him in bottom lane.
Yep, we haven't seen anything out of XTT yet. Well, I guess we just saw Rupture, but yeah, top lane, Windrunner, Mushi just dying over and over and over again. 0-3 and 1 on him. This is pretty atypical Mushi. I think in all last game he only had 3 deaths on a Night Stalker, so I mean, Hex just does kind of screw with him, just because he won't be able to Windrun then, and I think it takes off Windrun as well, so he is just not having an easy game. They don't really have the greatest lineup to protect him either. Like Clockwork, if he's sitting there, then he's really good, but he hasn't been, and he's not level 6 yet. Disruptor is like decent, but he gets kind of owned by BKB, and it takes some time for a Glimpse of Kinetic Field to actually form, so Windrunner, is Mushi going to be able to bounce back from this relatively rough start for him?
Good thing about Windrunner, I mean, it certainly helps up Hank. Nice shackle. Don't know if he'll be able to bounce back in the long term, but he certainly can make a play in mid.
Speaking of him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Think about a Windrunner. It's nice when you're runner in that situation if she can get a nice start, get up a quick mech or a Force Staff or some other utility item. But at the end of the day, Windrunner's Windrunner. She'll give you some damage with power shots. She'll give you some nice stuns and some jump out of your seat moments with a nice shackle shot. Mushi damn near got me out of my chair on that one. Beautifully done, right at max, very close to the max range in terms of the shackle distance. And very high priority kill popped up. There's going to be a glimpse and caught him. Shackle right afterwards. There's a chakram underneath. Power shots there. The right clicks are there. See a Bad Rider. DK fighting back with a vengeance and just getting the job done in mid lane. 2 down, 3-5.
Really good glimpse there by MMY. Looks like, I mean, seems to have to remember how to play against Disruptor. You can't stay in sight during daytime.
Yep.
You just can't stay in sight like that and wait for your team to come in. You also can't TP into the tower. If someone TPs to the tower and he lassos, you just TP back whoever TP'd, and then you just kill the Bat Rider himself too. So teams have to just adapt to Disruptor. I mean, he's been out of the game for quite some time. He used to be picked sometimes versus Wisp, but Glimpse is just so good at punishing poor position. They're like forced to fight from the T2. Looks like we see an incoming gank though. Luna has her ultimate.
Here we go. They're going to move along the top side. 4 heroes, all under cover of smoke. And Bloodseeker gets the rupture off on Timber, so he has to stop. There's a Fissure that caught one. Down goes the Static Storm. What a shackle! Bailing him out! Both of them caught in the Static Storm. The turnaround is there. There's the Eclipse from Burning. Heard the lasso go off, but no follow-up damage. Zoe and company set on the back foot. MMY likely to die and will. They end up still getting 2 out of it, but what should have been an unmitigated disaster for DK instead turned into a nice hold, even though they lost a bit. Mushi's showing off dim shackles as he keeps things together. 7-4, TongFu maintains their lead, but again, DK taking what should have been a horrible situation and making it merely not good.
Yeah, it was a really good fissure. If the fissure came out like 1 second later, then he would have been able to get Static Storm before they were able to burst down a Timber Saw. So very nice play by Sansheng there. Also, Mushi leveled up Shackle Shot instead of Power Shot. So that shows you how confident he is with those stuns.
Yeah, so far, no evidence to indicate neither you nor I nor anyone else should not be as confident as he is in those shackles. And Zoe going to show up. And they got it again. Off the back, 3 power shots there. Songxing's there as well, though. Going to disrupt the chain of initiation.
This could be very, very bad for DK if they stick around. I don't know why he hasn't bought it yet. If he bought it right now, he has a haste rune. It is time to go.
Picks it up. We got 3 in mid once again. I'm surprised we actually didn't see a glimpse attempt from MMY there. I think maybe he just couldn't get the high ground vision. This tower in mid, though, very, very low. They're going to go for the deny. They're going to glyph it out first and foremost. They've got more heroes coming in on both sides, giving a lot of emphasis to this middle lane, trying to deny it. Will they get it? There's a hook that comes in. The deny does go off on the tower. There's going to be a rupture on the Timber one more time. Bat grabs MMY, shackle on the Songxing, has him out of the fight. Static Storm not accomplishing a lot. This looks to be a big win going away of TongFu following another nice fissure from Sansheng. There's going to be a glimpse back on the bat to get to free up some room for MMY. Ice still in trouble. Nope, no room freed up as he's still tracked down, and the Timber drops as well. Only Burning still standing. He gets there, tardy to the party. Moo very low on health.
He could have killed Moo right there.
Yep. Able to bottle himself back up, and now Burning, the lone man left standing on the other side of the river. So they do manage to bring the tower down, just didn't get the last hit on it. And lost a lot. Cost him a lot to make that happen.
Definitely did. No good glimpse, though. I'm surprised they didn't see the Bat Rider TPing in. If he can make that a 4-on-5, it's a pretty good win. But Bat Rider with a haste rune is just so disruptive, especially right after he gets his blink dagger. So good timing for the fight for TongFu. We see them smoke top want to take this fight. They don't have Eclipse up for 5 seconds.
Hang on, Lanham. Spotted out by TongFu. And there's
tower.
going to be a TP in. Songxing up. Here we go. Lanham caught out behind the fight. We're going to have Ice cleaning him up. Lanham, though, likely to end up dropping as well. There's the rupture one more time on Ice. Forcing him to stay stationary. Force staff out. Forces ends up doing all the damage that was needed. So another 2-for-1 exchange favoring TongFu.
Yep, things are looking pretty ugly right now. And like the Thirst move speed is just like whatever. How many times have we seen like Bloodseeker move like close to haste, let alone like above haste? Like the low heroes are just focused very, very quickly and just die anyways, just because they have so much burst with the lasso, with the Eclipse, with the Finger Death too.
Net worth chart, we can see 3 of the top 4 belonging to TongFu at the moment. Weaver sitting as the lone standout for DK. He is staying in range at least, but Luna is in great shape. And we've seen TongFu before. When they get a Luna ahead, hang on. MMY going to be lassoed back. There's a shackle to buy some time. XTT slowed down. There's the counter initiation. Burning, trying to do what damage he can, but they do end up bringing down the Disruptor. XTT's next on the docket. Buy back out. There's another good fissure from Sansheng. Timber trying to chase him down. Here comes the Eclipse. ZSMJ caught in the chakra, but not long enough. Will make it away. Sansheng eats the shackle. Burning will get the kill with Shikuchi. And DK pulling back, continuing to trade blow for blow and try to keep this game together. TongFu with this lineup, you know they want to fight, and they have to fight to really get the most out of it. Zoe is making phenomenal progress, though. We'll have his BKB up not long at all from now. Only needs about another 400 gold to have it together. In the meantime, Burning, only an Ogre Club to his name. The rest of DK circling around near the back end. Looks like a little bit of a troll hook
shot.
Yep.
Oh, they were going to get him, though.
Beautiful disruption And the shackle to follow it up. Big kill there. 674
Did
gold.
they see him? Was that like a power shot or a rocket flare or just
Ward.
what? Ward. Oh, okay. I was about to say it was like right at the tip of the vision. So very nice ward placement there by MMY. It looks like that was just such an important kill, delaying her BKB so she gets. She actually probably had BKB right there. Looking at Ogre Club, 2,200 gold. She was probably sitting at like 2,600 gold. That is just so important for them.
Yeah, big loss there. Getting her off the map, but as you said, just losing that much gold. And that's really the catalyst. That's what DK needed. They needed something to give them a little bit more swagger to get them back out on the map so they could counterpunch TongFu. Because as of right now, they've really been playing predominantly reactionary Dota. They've been simply trying, every time they try to make something happen, Mushi's been landing some shackles, but TongFu's been reacting to them. And in a lot of cases, DK's just been on the back foot trying to fend off the assault. And finally, with that win, looks like TongFu might have had the wind knocked out of him just a little bit.
Yep, they're looking for a kill right now. Batrider searching for opportunity. He does not have vision though, and they ping him out. Yep, the jig is up.
15.5 minutes in. Taking a look at the gold, we can see pretty big swing. Was just about 2,000 in favor of TongFu for a little while there. Now up to just about 1,500 in favor of DK. So 4,000 gold swing in the middle of the game.
There is a smoke.
Doesn't look like they're going to be able to find anyone though. TongFu moving through the dire side jungle, just nobody home.
Yeah, Burning just looks like he's going for BKB.
And yeah, simple BKB build. Just trying to, seeing the BKB come out like this, I think he knows he just needs to be relevant in these fights a little bit earlier because of the offensive potential TongFu happens to have. And they've really been playing this quite well. Burning will be the first to respond over here. Does have an invis rune. Glyph is available if they want to use it. And very close to BKB again for Zoe. And here comes the bat looking for a target. The rest of DK slowly getting into position. And Burning there, using that invis, waiting for a chance to move in. XTT with him up front, though. The potential for the silence and the rupture makes it tough for Burning to lead himself in. We actually hear another hook.
Shot. Oh, that was so important. They could have... Oh, they're still going to get him.
Once again, they got Zoe. Here comes the rest of TongFu, though. Can they blow him up from a distance? Nice fissure, cut him off. The Eclipse going to buy some time. There's a time lapse out of Burning to keep him alive. And he's going to chase him down, though. We're going to see Zoe drop. XTT gets off the rupture and the finger of death, but the power shot gives immediate payback. Lanham right there on XTT. XTT will be able to earn charge himself up. Chakram cuts off his path to retreat. Ice is going to pursue him out. Nope, actually changed his mind about it. In the meantime, potential for more battle down in the jungle. We got Lanham dropping the cogs. Now another shackle grabs Song Sheng. Off goes the flame break, knocking him back. The burn damage is there. Now lassoing Lanham back through. XTT shows back up to help contribute to the kill. Mushi, though, right behind him. Another good glimpse. However, the immediate blink out is going to get Mu to safety, at least temporarily. Kinetic field still off cooldown, but yes, he got it. Wow. Can they get there in time?
Did that spell get buffed? My goodness, that was really short.
Power shot isn't enough. One more auto attack. No. Here comes Mushi. They want to clean him up. They will. One more will do it.
He shouldn't have used Firefly. If he didn't use Firefly right there, he wouldn't have enough mana for Blink. It would have been really close, though. He was so close to escaping.
Lot of turnaround kills, and DK, who was falling apart early, is doing what has made them famous, just playing patient, taking what's given to them, making something of nothing. I'll tell you right now, this guy right here is playing his daylights out. MMY on this Disruptor has been the #1 difference maker in this game so far.
Huge glimpses. And again, like if they didn't kill him right here, he would have had BKB for the fight. He just BKBs out of kinetic field, no harm, no foul. But since he died there, he still doesn't have his BKB. They managed to force a fight. They managed to kill the Luna, and that is just so important for them. Like, I don't know why TongFu tried to force the issue without BKB a bit, and now that he finally has it up, they can feel comfortable. But I mean, that should have come out like almost like 6 or 7 minutes ago, but MMY playing like an absolute beast, keeping this net worth on this Luna so far down.
Want to give an honorable mention to Song Sheng as well. I mean, there's only so much you can do as an Earthshaker. He has been doing what he needs to do, though. He has been hitting some very clutch fissures. He and Mushi, I mean, as good as MMY is playing, Mushi's right on that same caliber. His shackle shots have just been absolute money, and he's going to look to make some more things happen now, along with his partners as they smoke up through mid. That's the bat standing right in front. There's the hook coming from downtown, and the shackle to follow it up. Oh, Mushi, are you kidding me? Shot that at max range, bounced it off the creep, And the bat is down. This might be a tier 2 without the counter initiation that bat gives you. TongFu going to be very hesitant to engage into a full DK squad.
Yep, and yeah, Mushi with these shackles, just incredible. He started off, what, 0-3, now 5-4 and 9.
Yep.
Involved in so many kills, all but one for his team.
And sticking with it, they're going to glimpse him back right into the kinetic field. Here comes XTT. Shackle was not there that time. And nice Echo Slam, gets it off before he dies, but they mech through it. XTT going to be caught inside the cogs. CSMJ doing what he can, got 2 there with the Earth Spike. Mushi got to be careful dying the tower damage, but in the end, they trade Burning for 2 more. The bat will have respawn now, though. Ice with a BKB of his own on the way. Still has a bit of time to go. Moo going to be shackled out and have some damage done as he's caught in the kinetic field. Here comes the SMJ. Used Finger of Death in that last engagement, so not going to be able to use it to burst down one of these low health supports. However, they do manage to hold the tower up, so you could say DK got some more kills, but I'd still chalk that up as a decent little win for TongFu, just buying time.
Yeah, they managed to get Burning too. They're very, very good about bursting down Burning. The Bloodseeker almost always casts his Blood Rage on him, and Lion just fingers him all the time. So Burning having a very difficult time to survive right now. I'm surprised he hasn't picked up his BKB. He has 1350 gold. What are you saving for, buddy? Oh, wait, it costs 1375 now. That's why.
Exactly. Yep.
I forgot.
The slight nerf. The 75 gold nerf. Here near the Roche pit, TongFu back under cover of smoke. This is just defense of the smokes lately. I mean, all night long, this is how the games have tended to go, whether they panned out in action or not. Just teams chewing through those smokes of deceit and trying to play aggressive. Looks like DK still grouped up in mid and not intending to separate out. TongFu not going to find anyone to engage on yet. They may go ahead and try to take this bottom tier 1, though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the best time to do it, though. Bad Rider's going to have a pretty difficult time finding a target to initiate on. The BKB just came on the Weaver, too. Actually, he needs to get it, like, very, very quickly. He needs to get it before this fight. If he fights without BKB, I'm pretty sure he's going to die again.
Smoke pop. There's the Timber Chain. They're going to try to engage. Chakram got no one. Split the wickets. Now we're going to have the Rupture onto 1. Oh, what a fissure. Got all 4. Here comes the Eclipse from Zoe. MMY in trouble. Burning pops his own BKB. We see ZSMJ cleaned up inside the cogs. Mushi next on the list. Drag through the fire. Cleaned up. Zoe. Force staff, not enough. Moo already spent his lasso. Has to retreat as he comes back down to earth. There's a buyback from Zoe. Not willing to leave this engagement to chance. Willing to invest the gold and come back ready to fight. Hooking back up with Songsheng and XTT as well as Moo. The cooldowns are up. 30 seconds until the next Rupture. We got 45 until the next lasso. Eclipse was also spent, but Echo Slam will be back up in about 5 seconds. Burning didn't spend anything but the BKB. Let's see how dedicated DK is to trying to hold this tower.
Yeah, if Burning gets silenced, he's dead. If he gets hexed, he's dead. So he has to be very careful about his positioning. But luckily, no lasso yet. And now all the team of DK will revive. So a big wasted buyback from Zoe there. They didn't get anything out of it. They just backed and farmed up. He would have been up by now.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I thought, you buy back like that, you know that most of DK is down. You're going to be in a lopsided fight favoring you, and then you don't push. I mean, Zoe just kind of throwing some gold away there. Nonetheless, we're 22 minutes in. We're all knotted up in terms of kills. So take a look at the gold. About 2,500 separating the teams. DK has battled back and taken the lead. The experience to their advantage as well. Moo's going to find Lanham, dragging him across the river. There's the follow-up Earth Spike, and more or less dead to rights. Fire Flame Break, I should say, helping secure the kill.
I have no idea what he was doing there.
Yeah. Burning.
They had to be especially careful during nighttime because nighttime Luna has full night vision with Lunar Blessing.
Very close that time. Just a little bit behind on the shackle shot. One of the few we've seen Mushi miss all night. And MMY actually has picked up a point booster and a Staff of Wizardry. Looks like he wants to show us the new and improved Static Storm, which is, if I'm not mistaken,
I think it's Odish.
Yeah,
by the way.
It's bigger and it shuts down usage of items, correct?
It's huge. Yeah, if they can get it before BKB's, that is just incredibly potent. That was the biggest weakness about Disruptor. He just gets absolutely shut down 100% by BKB. BKB through Glimpse, BKB through his ultimate, BKB through Kinetic Field, as well as Thunder Strike. Does not matter. But now he gets, like, if they BKB the Glimpse, whatever, then you just Static Storm and kill them later because they don't have BKB. But if they don't, then you can Glimpse and then just win the fight from there.
TongFu sticking together as 5. So is DK, save for 1. That's Ice. Trying to farm himself as BKB. He needs about another 600 gold, give or take, to make that happen. Actually, only needs about 300, 400 now. But Mushi with the mech up actually got that up in a decent time despite having such a iffy start. As we can see, 6-3 and 10 on the Luna, 6-3 and 8 for the Bad Riders, so standout performances there. But Mushi finding his way back up to 5 and 10 despite being 0 and 3 very early on. And taking a look at Burning. Again, Burning's just one of the, whenever he plays a Weaver, it's so easy to just kind of lose track of him because he's always doing his own thing, not always involved in the engagements. But with a BKB up, 1,500 gold, he is slowly but surely continuing his item progression.
Yes, he is. Yeah, looking at Zoe, it looks like Yasha for him, no HOD, trying to swarm the opponent's jungle right now. I think Mushi does need a force up. He died actually a little bit too fast last fight, wasn't actually able to get over his mech. His tower is at 637 HP, but there is a glyph. This is a pretty dangerous place for them to fight. It's a...
Up the lasso on the ice, shrug back, BKB's pop, there's a rupture as well. Here comes Lanham though. Fisher goes off to disjoint things, and Zoe gonna pop the ulti. Lanham will be cleaned up. Finger of Death a bit wasted there. Really didn't need to use all that damage. Tong Sheng more or less whiffs on the Echo Slam. Nothing around for it to echo off of. Now here comes TongFu charging back out. They've gone 2 for 2. MMY saved by the mech, and we'll be able to glimpse one back. XTT on Mushi. Kinetic Field. Oh, wow. Actually unable to save them both, so 2 end up dropping. Now it's just Burning left in. He's gone Perseverance now, looking for his Lincolns. Wishes he had it now. And the 4 stacks of Sticky Napalm going to make it tough for him to get away. He's got a time lapse. If he has to use it and wants to use it, they're going to continue to pursue him out, knowing he's slow. There's a 4 staff, gets another stack on, but he is making it very slowly but surely back to his tower. So Burning, once again, the lone left remaining survivor for DK following another big engagement going the way of TongFu.
A good lasso by the Bat Rider there. They just have to be more wary about it. Like, Clockwork had a pretty good hook shot afterwards, but he wasn't able to get the cog off. He got silenced by the Bloodseeker right as it was about to cast. And we've been seeing that a lot today, where Clockwork's hooked, but they don't actually get the cogs off. And that hurts their team a lot.
Yeah, it has been happening considerably. Moo has finished his 4 staff, had it for a while now. Has another 2,100 gold in his inventory. We'll see what he wants to grab. XTT grabbing a Yasha, and I guess just got jealous of Zoe. So picking up a Yasha as well on his way to a Manta. We'll have the ultimate orb up right about now. And not far at all away from that Manta style now. I mean, pretty even game, all things considered. We can look at the graphs. 2,500 gold at 26 minutes is not inconsiderable, but not the biggest deal in the world. And the experience after these engagements has actually dropped back down to 0. So looking ahead to the mid-game and the next 20 minutes, who do you give the advantage to here, Merlini?
I don't know. It's really tough. It depends on what item Bloodseeker goes for next. He's the one who's like least farmed of all of the carries. We see like Weaver pretty farmed. We see Luna like pretty farmed too. So I think Bloodseeker just has to get a lot more items compared with Mushi. Looking at the net worth though, he is still about 300 gold ahead of Mushi right now. It's really hard to tell who has the advantage right now. I mean, like TongFu, they have better late game, but they're behind in gold, but they're ahead in kills. It's too early to tell.
Leading in net worth is the Luna with the Weaver right behind. Bad Rider's actually caught up fairly well in terms of farm. Has really been doing quite well for himself in the entire game. TongFu has hooked back up as 5, suspecting that DK is together in their jungle. DK does have copious numbers of wards, and by copious I mean 2. They will go ahead and counter ward 1, but having a nice sense of what's going on the other side of that jungle, able to position themselves, and looks like they do just want to go ahead and retreat. Not interested in taking a full 5-on-5 right now.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they should without that sort of vision, though. You have to have vision going into this sort of fight. You need to be able to stop the Bloodseeker, who doesn't even have a BKB. You need to be able to shut down a Bat Rider so he doesn't get a free initiate on Timbersaw yet again.
We see the Clockwork's actually doing something that you and I have discussed a bit over the last couple of days. A lot of teams have been hampered in the late game in terms of just stalling, trying to crack the tier 3s because they lack a pipe. And looks to me like Clockwork's actually going to be trying to fix that. There's going to be the cogs go down on the move before you can get the lasso off, and the hook's going to be off the mark. So, oh, there's the glimpse, bringing it back. Can they catch him? 4 staff gets him out of trouble. Zoe's right there with him, and they're going to pop the Eclipse. Lanham eating the brunt of it. Fissure there from the low ground. BKB popped. Ice in trouble. In the meantime, Burning laying into illusions and nothing else. But DK and TongFu both making it away all intact. Little bit of a helter-skelter engagement there, but everyone makes it away. Hang on. Another glimpse. Zoe will not be looking for the shackle. Oh, look at that static storm and the kinetic field. ZSMJ, there's that shackle. Didn't he? Well, actually, never mind. An Earth Spike kind of bought him some time. Moo will get off another lasso on the land. I'm dragging him into the trees. XTT right there with him. Ice, ice, ice. Cut off along with Mushi thanks to the fissure. Echo Slam does nothing. San Sheng blowing it for no reason. Shackle will not latch. The cogs go down. Zoe going to retreat. XTT. Another good glimpse brings Zoe back. Force Staff gets him out of the way. Burning. Silenced out. Can they blow him up in time? Going to be close. They will. One loosened beam. All it took. Moo continuing to spam that out. Shackle catches XTT. San Sheng with a fissure that blocks things off, but the power shot more than enough to get to the kill. Ice 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 found some way to survive through that. And another glimpse. MMY is not done. Shackle will not latch though. Lanham drops the cogs and knocks San Sheng out. Kinetic field, not enough. Chakram comes up short. ZSMJ's back up. Caught with Zoe in the kinetic field. That'll buy time for DK to retreat. What? Oh, or he'll just kill Earthshaker with a rocket flare. That's fine too. Wow. Either way, 24-25 as these teams are just swinging from the shoelaces, Merlini.
Yeah, I wish all games were like this. My goodness, I love seeing 50 kills in 30 minutes. That is pretty fun to watch. And no Roshan attempts as of yet either. Like, oh, actually, have we seen a Roshan? I don't believe so.
Nope, we haven't.
Yeah. No Roshan yet.
Haste picked up by Moo. He's going to spend it. He's got lasso ready to go. Flame break puts him back in range. And Ice Ice Ice, who walked between the raindrops in that last fight, not so fortunate this time, will die in flame near the river, hanging around a bit too long. Now we see, though, the Clockwork has picked up the pipe. So a lot of that magic damage that TongFu is relying on going to be mitigated. That's going to be a huge deal in terms of DK going more on the offensive. In a lot of ways, TongFu has been the initiators of this outside of just heroes falling prey to MMY, who is just playing out of his mind. The guy is pretty much unconscious on Disruptor at this point. But outside of that, they really haven't been taking the initiative that much. I feel like TongFu is going to be in a bit of a different situation now. That pipe just allows them so much more leeway.
Mm-hmm. Well, like CT, just sitting on top. Look at his item progression. He needs more items, so he doesn't have BKB. It's pretty difficult for him. He can just get caught in a static storm and the kinetic field and not be able to do anything. We've seen that happen quite a few times already. Earthshaker needs his Blink Dagger too, so the goal difference to only 2,000 in favor of DK, but they don't really have the important items that they need on their team though. And it's really heavily focused onto Luna and Batrider's net worth.
The Helm of the Dominator, the build for Zoe, looking to go with a later farming sort of a build. Gem now picked up on the on ZSMJ, so they're going to have an answer to Burning so long as they can keep him alive and keep that gem in their own possession. But again, I feel like DK's lineup is just feeling so much more powerful. Mushi's actually picked up an ultimate orb that's going to allow him to stay alive in these fights a little bit longer, and eventually he'll want to turn that into a Scythe of Vice. And MMY is actually, we're going to get to see a Disruptor with Scepter. He's only 25 gold away, so he's going to have it in time, no doubt about it.
It's going to be awesome. I would love to see it, especially after following a Clockwork shot, so you can't actually BKB it. It's going to be awesome.
There's the Blade of Alacrity, and wasting no time says, I'll go home and pick this up. Thank you much. Scepter picked up now, and can't wait to see what he's able to do with it. Again, those who aren't aware, the changes much bigger on the Static Storm, and it also silences items now, so you can't use items if you're caught inside of it. So obviously for a team so reliant on BKBs, Luna, of course, a hero, more or less that's her core item. She just needs it to be able to survive, as well as Force Staff, Blink Dagger, you name it. Anything TongFu has that they need to use to really get their heroes in the proper position, now going to be a liability.
Mm-hmm. And looks like both teams just taking it passively for a moment. TongFu could sneak in a roach if they wanted to. The problem is I don't really think they have the damage to do so. Luna has like decent items, but she's on top farming. Bloodseeker, not really that many damage items either. So yeah, it's going to be a very long and difficult attempt if they attempt to go for it. Batrider picked up a gem. Did another hero pick up a gem too?
Check 1 second. Zoe is split pushing top. Will be baiting out some sort of initiation. And here we go. Shackle's not going to be there. There's the hook, though. Zoe finds the whole team. BKB is going to be popped out. Here comes the Eclipse. Lasso onto MMY. He did manage to get his spells off, but it's 2-0 so far. Zoe Force Staff to safety. Here comes Burning, and the power shot not there after the BKB wore off, so the magic damage ignored. So nice bait out of TongFu that time, managing to get a win. Now they're going to re-engage his 5. XTC leading the charge. He's got himself a Force Staff, as well as a Yasha. The rest of DK looks like they're just going to have to sack it, run back to base, heal up, and prepare to potentially defend a tier 3.
Yeah, Bad Rider still looks pretty dominant. 8-3 and 13 on Mu. And yeah, after the slight nerf, but Vision is like pretty bad, but he's still making the most out of it, which is a pretty good thing.
Net worth, Zoe just continues to make that number get bigger. He's at 17.5K right now. Burning is being outclassed entirely. He's 5,000 behind. Lincoln, BKB, he needs damage. Really needs to get up an item like a Desolator at this point.
Yeah, he really does. Goldcraft has actually started to dip finally in favor of TongFu. It looks like just, a little bit under 1,000 gold right now. And Luna with her HOD and Manta, I think can probably be very close to soloing Roshan, or at least duoing it if they have one other person come with them. So the pressure's really on DK right now. I think they need to stop dying in these team fights. Last one was a 2-4-0. They need to be able to protect Roshan, gain map control, and defend their towers if TongFu tries to force the issue.
And, I mean, right now, TongFu, again, with that Pipe, we just really haven't seen a nice 5-man team fight come out of DK quite yet. Pipe, not nearly the mitigating factor one would expect it to be, at least in that last engagement. DK still trying to get Burning into good shape, still quite a ways away from even picking up his first Mithril Hammer on the way to a Deso, if that is indeed the item he thinks he wants to pick up. They're going to smoke up. And they need this. They need a pick, and they certainly could use a little bit more map control if they could get a nice pick and push on the tower. Moo's going to be the available target if they go ahead and cut north. And taking their time right now could be a missed opportunity if they don't get there soon. In fact, yep, Moo's already crossed over. Little bit of fortunate timing for TongFu, as they could have very easily lost their bat there if DK had just moved out a second or two earlier. In the meantime, still trying to bait with Burning, trying to force some kind of reaction out of TongFu, hoping one hero will be a straggler, get out a little too early. There's the ward placed on the high ground. They see them moving into position. There's San Sheng getting very close, and there it is. They're going to hook him out. Chakram going to be there. Nice cogs, knocking him. He actually glitched out against the side of the hill. There's the Eclipse, but not accomplishing a lot. Lanham's willing to absorb that. The Pipe actually mitigated a lot of it. In the meantime, we're going to have a glimpse, sending one back. Now Burning caught with Rupture in the meantime. Here's the lasso. There's a shackle, though. Moon locked down. Can they follow it up? Static Storm got all four, but they're knocked out. Meching through it. Moon ends up cleaned up. In the meantime, Ice still with his BKB available, ready to re-engage. Lanham was hexed. Now eating more damage. There's a shackle. Doesn't latch, despite having a lot of creeps behind him. And, oh, nice fissure. Going to take Clockwork out once again. Kinetic Field not on the money. They end up going 2 for 1. And Ice is just going to TP away, as TongFu was more concerned with chasing into the river. And XTT, yep, just going to run into the illusions. But another fight going the way of TongFu.
Whew. Sunshine with these fissures, though. That Kinetic Field and Static Storm were just so close to hitting 4 heroes, though, in this area. Had that been changed around, or the Kinetic Field just dropped like half a second earlier, or even north, maybe like 100, 200 range, it would have been a completely different fight. And Scepter, I mean, they put like quite a lot of farm on MMY, and the other 2 heroes have forced to just pay up as a support too. Windrunner number 5 on net worth, even though she's had Arcane Mech for quite some time. Clockwork too, suffering a little bit in terms of net worth, about 8,000.
Zoe is pretty close down to control, and here's that duo Roche we knew could be a possibility. Zoe with his BKB up, the SMJ going to make it a 3-man attempt. Not that you can call it an attempt, pretty much just taking it. And 38 minutes in, it looks like TongFu with that last win might have positioned themselves to be ready to close this game out. Burning, still lacking in farm. Hasn't even picked up 1 Mithril Hammer. Needs about another 900 gold to just get the 2 that he needs, plus another 900 on top of that. So still quite a ways away from finishing a Deso.
I think he wants to save it for buyback after they expend a pretty ultimate, or a pretty long ultimate. So, yeah. I think he definitely needs damage, though. Like, he just needs it so badly. He's still just falling way far behind Luna right now. Luna 6,000 net worth above, with the Aegis, with the Butterfly. He needs MKB. He also needs Desolator. What is he going to get next? And how is he going to farm it?
And that's the thing. At this point, he's farming for items he wanted to have minutes ago, and Zoe's gone a farming build on the Luna and is showing no signs of slowing down. Having the Butterfly up, there's actually a BKB done now on the Bloodseeker as well, so his own innate survivability going up through the roof. And, I mean, at this point, it's tough. They've got a great item on an MMY, and they can take any fight because of that item. You know, like you said, if that 4-man Static Storm, it looked like it was going to be 4 men, and they just barely escaped the Kinetic Field. If he catches 3 or 4 in a static storm, any fight can go their way because there's no way to BKB out, no way to do anything out of it. But they're going to need a little luck.
Blink or anything.
Yep. So they're going to need a little bit of luck on their side. TongFu not willing to leave the result to Fortune's favored hands. Instead, going to smoke and look to make their own luck.
Yep. And are we going to see a final push right now? They still have plenty of time left on the Aegis right now. Zoe is a little bit out of position. If he gets hooked right now, oh my gosh, his team is so far away, but they don't actually have vision over there. Mushi gets dragged out and sheeped.
And here we go. Lanham chasing down Zoe. They are going to finish up on Mushi. Wanted to keep an eye on Zoe here just in case they did try to hook and engage. Not going to be the case, as Mushi basically just dead to rights. Never had a chance out there by himself. And Ice now spotted out. There's the rupture on MMY down already. Lost the gem there too.
Ugly.
Yep, that's just bad positioning. A pure lapse in judgment. No other way to put it.
Yep. And Disruptor did pretty much just go for a straight Scepter Rush build that we talked about. But this is a problem when you don't have any defensive items. I mean, he does like decent with Force Staff and stuff like that, but he just needs to survive so he can get a good ultimate on Wanda. What is he doing?
Looks like dying to right clicks as TongFu is just blowing this game open. That last defense up at top lane really turned this game completely around, and doesn't look like they're in any mood to stop. They're going to push through. Manta on Zoe, who has his butterfly, has 4,500 gold in the bank if he wants to spend it on anything he wants, really. And Moo looking for a target, doesn't even need to. This is going to be a free tier 3, and chances are a free set of racks. And hang on, he's going to go ahead and jump Ice, blown up immediately. Fissure there, even though they didn't need it. That's probably your GG. Another good shackle onto XTT. Lincoln will be popped. BKB's popped as well. There's the kinetic field. Zoe locked inside. Burning trying to go toe for toe, but with the butterfly up makes it so very difficult to try and just trade blow for blow against a Luna in that kind of condition.
Yep, let's let the slow siege continue. They're just getting picks here and there. They don't really need to force the issue. I mean, they have plenty of time left on the Aegis. Looks like about 2.5 minutes time. They can just wait for Lasso, look for another pick, maybe force a buyback or two, and then just push up. But they have to be careful not to overextend, though, because MMY can punish them with Disruptor, as we've already seen them many times.
Burning deciding to grab an MKB makes a ton of sense, and so has since finished that butterfly. And item they desperately need. However, we've seen it, man. You can't count him out. Cannot count out a late-game Weaver. The hero just has so much to his credit. And XTT continuing to farm up as best he can. He's actually number 4 in terms of pure net worth. But the right now, the Luna is just absurdly ahead. I mean, just so far completely gone in terms of dominance, in terms of item possession. She just finished up her Satanic. Still has another 2,700 gold in the bank. She's essentially 6-slotted right now.
Yeah, looking at the gold graph right now, about 10,000, and that's pretty much just the difference between Luna and Weaver. Everyone else is fairly similar. Just the one heroes on each team. Zoe is just incredibly farmed. Satanic, Butterfly, BKB, and Manta.
And really, at this point, it's hard to imagine what they're going to be able to do to her. I mean, they've got a little bit of lockdown. Cog certainly help keep her stationary. Basically, they need a static storm. They need a static storm that can shut her down, keep her from BKBing, keep her from using her Satanic, and then focus the hell out of her. That's the only way they're going to bring her down, and the only way they're going to be able to survive this siege.
Earthshaker with his Blink Dagger, though. I mean, he can just counter-initiate so easily, though, especially when they only have one BKB up on Weaver. It's just going to be so tough. Usually, you're not going to be able to, like, anticipate the Echo and then pipe in time, too. Oh, ooh, Moo looking for a pickoff there. This may be the end for DK.
We're going to see him slow siege the top lane. The Aegis will be reclaimed here momentarily. Actually, about 30 seconds from now, if I'm not mistaken, give or take. And in the meantime, TongFu is actually just going to go ahead and pull back. Just kind of slow pushing this out. Zoe, again, not a whole lot of room for much of anything. Buyback's really becoming the major factor. Unfortunately for DK, they have none. Only buyback available, only 2 of them on the side of TongFu.
Man, range Rex, no melee, or no regen either, dude. That kind of sucks for them.
And DK, looks like they're just both teams playing for Roshan at this point, as it will be sometime in the next 5 to 7 minutes. Aegis is going to be reclaimed as we speak. So Zoe just going to continue to farm it away. Now, if you're in Team D, never mind. I was going to say, if you're in Team DK shoes, do you just play passive, continue to farm, or do you try to make something happen in the interim? And it looks like my question was answered for me. They've got a couple. Go ahead.
It's risky to do it without the Aegis, though.
they have buyback on Zoe right now, but they don't have to take unnecessary risk.
And Mushi gonna have it pop. They're gonna go on up. ZSMJ. Oh, they got the Hex off on Zoe. Can they clean him up? Force Staff gets ZSMJ out of trouble. We're gonna see MMY caught with the lasso. There's the Eclipse as well. MMY will end up dropping before he can do anything. Ice trying to do what he can. Force Staff up after the rupture. Now Lanham in trouble. There's a nice shackle that buys him some time. Earn charge might be enough. Burning will be able to make it away. However, Zoe able to add a couple more kills to his collection. And Sansheng with one more good fissure. Missed with the enchant totem. Damage over time is there, and there you go. One flame break, all it took. So DK trying to make something happen, blows up in their face, and it's 3 for 1.
Yeah, good effort right there to try and focus down and burst down Zoe, but he is just so farmed at this point. 2,300 gold with 27 armor and BKB, main style to split out of a couple of spells and butterfly to boot. So, I mean, it's a nice idea focusing him down, and you kind of have to because he does so much damage to his team, but at the same time, he's just so survivable. He can use BKB one time, he can manta out of certain spells, and then Satanic if he uses them all at like decent times. I mean, he can stay alive for like a good 10 seconds or so in the fight.
And the bottom tier 2, last remaining outer tier tower now gone. They've already brought down one set of racks in mid. And this last push feeling a bit more like a victory march as Zoe mantas up, ready to go. And Kinetic Field can't even keep him out of range. Look at the creeps melt. Look at this tower melt. Just so much damage out of Zoe. Doesn't even need help from anyone else at this point. As you said, just absolutely monstrously huge. 300 plus glaive bounce. And there's going to be a hook that hits nothing but illusions.
These hook shots. Some of these hook shots have been really spot on. Some of them have been rather poor.
And they're going to pull back again. Taking a look at Roshan. Roche is actually going to be up very, very soon now. And
1 minute time.
Yep. So one of the minimum times you could ever expect. Let's see if they check it in time. They are pulling back in that direction. They're going to be grabbing an item. Demon Edge picked up. Yep, there it is. So perfect timing. Look at that. Could not have been more fortunate in the timing of that Roshan. Literally ran in just as he spawned.
I'm so lucky for them.
Yep. Aegis will go to Zoe, and this point, pretty much all over with
I
pride.
think he's out of item slots.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Sticking on the bad, I suppose. Just put it on Moo.
Yeah, I don't think they need to give it on bad. He already has 3,400 gold. I guess he's going to be their sheep bearer and such, so I guess it's not that bad. Oh, here comes his sheep too.
There you go. Getting his Scythe of Ice off the courier. Will be coming back down to Earth. Nope, never mind. Not even on the courier. Just went back and bought it. 27 to 37. TongFu has fought hard and clawed to be in this position, but it is a dominant position. Coming up on 20,000 gold. To their advantage, the experience in excess of at 25,000. And really, by any metric you measure, they've really dominated DK. There's really no other way to put it. MMY, after that Scepter pickup, has been so much a focus of Batrider in particular. He has just felt completely impotent.
Yep, definitely. So things started to fall apart for them when they just couldn't really clean up in any of the fights, and Burning just died all the time too.
Hook on to Zoe. They're going to try to make this the last fight. Static Storm does go down this time. Can they get Zoe down? He doesn't have an Aegis. Zoe will be cleaned up. Sansheng helping to clean up elsewise. There's the buyback immediately from Luna. Moose still up and fighting. XTT is there. And they did manage to bring down 3 in exchange, or to lose 3 in exchange for Zoe. But yeah, they're just going to call it. They knew that was their last chance. They had to come out ahead and bring the Luna down without losing their whole team. Instead, Luna survives, as does, well, didn't survive, but buys back, as does the rest of TongFu. Roll to victory. And really, I mean, just a complete reversal again. DK showing us as good as they can be picked apart. TongFu played phenomenally that game early.
Yeah, I think Bloodseeker pick actually had a quite a big part in that fight, or in the whole entire game actually. Lanham actually missed quite a few hook shots, but yeah, Bloodseeker silencing Ice all the time, rupturing him, silencing and rupturing Burning too, and silencing Bushi. Like, the silence is just really, really effective. It's a 9-second single target silence, and I think a lot of people underestimate silence simply because you can BKB it, which is nice for the most part, but like Bushi didn't get BKB, Ice didn't get BKB, Burning got BKB, but he still just got wrecked by the Luna, who just farmed up so quickly after that delay by them. So if MNY didn't get that clutch just glimpse back on him and delays BKB for like another 5 minutes, this could have been like a 35-40 minute game. So I think a very valiant effort by the supports and by Mushi in particular. Mushi had some really nice cycle shots, but just unable to pull through in the end.
Yeah, I just to echo that, DK I feel like was really kept in this game by a dynamic tandem of Mushi and MMY. Like every time they would be out of position and lose a fight or lose a tower or just be falling behind, you would just see a number of huge plays between the shackle shots, between the glimpses, everything else that just allowed them to hang around and force this game as late as they did. Nonetheless, TongFu has managed to turn the bagel into the breadstick, and we're going to a game 3. 28-40, the final kill score, 47 minutes, 54 seconds. The official game time. I'm your host, Aaron A.C. Chambers, live here on the studio floor in San Francisco, and our final series going all the way. Game 3 going to be coming up next. DK fighting to make sure they don't fall below 500. TongFu started out strong, lost a match or two, now looking to re-energize their run for our playoffs or perhaps for that top spot if they can get things back on track and keep things back on track right here and right now. We'll see you back in just a few minutes, guys. Game 3 on the way. HyperX, D2L, Eastern Divisional play. DK, TongFu. Stick with us. We'll be right back.